Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you my trading journal from the month of May, show you all my results and show you what I did wrong and what I did right. For who doesn't know me, my name is Peter Alexander. I've been trading for 2.5 years now. I'm not profitable yet, but I really think that I will be in 1 or 2 years. So I'm documenting my journey. Let's dive in. Here you can see my edge wonk. As you can see, not a lot of green. To be honest, actually, I will count none of these trades as a successful trade. As you can see, this trade here on the 4th and also the trade on the 27th, but also the trade on the 20th of May were kind of break-even trades. So I'll count them as break-even trades, and further you see 3 losing trades. So actually 3 losing trades and total of minus 2.7 R, something like that. So not the best month, but also not the worst. What's important to know about this month is that I just came back from my travel to Asia and I had to get into it a little bit. So that's why you also see a whole week of no trades. But I can say that I got into the flow and I got into the consistent structure this month, so I'm happy with that. And of course, my goal is to improve every month. So let's dive into the trading journal. Here you can see the whole month of May, and I'm going to start at the start. Here's one trade from the end of April. I will cover that as well, as it was almost in the same period. And it was a front run, or not even a front run, I didn't get filled. And it's good to paint a picture. Okay, I'm trading Bitcoin, and as you can see, Bitcoin was uptrending, and this was just a possible higher low play, but it was too defensively, as you can see. What I have to say about this period was that I didn't trade enough. It was very easy to take another trade, like this one, for example. Very nice structure. You break it here and you short it. You have it here as well. Structure break, short it at the high, here also at the high. And possibly this would have been a long trade, but I was just waiting for this setup. But also this was the period that I just came back. I came back on the 26th of April and I had to move back my stuff into my room as I rented it out. So I'm not going to be too harsh on myself for this period. After that I started trading a little bit more. As you can see here, the plan was, because we broke this range and we found some support here, I took a 1 minute scalp. Not the best. That was the 0.6% loss that you saw. And the reason it was 0.6, I think, was because I took 1 TP. Oh no, this wasn't a loss, this was a break-even one. Actually, here you can see the structure. And I made a mark about the stop loss. That was because I managed it too aggressively. Now, as you could see before, we found a little bit of support, and here the structure is based on the 1 minute time frame, or 3 minute time frame actually. You see that we gain it. I think I took it on the 1 minute actually, yeah. You gain this and you're playing a higher low. This was the entry, and as you can see I took 1 TP and then I moved my stop, and that wasn't smart because there was still some untested areas around here, and it was a higher low play, so the price could move towards your low but not below the low. So had I not moved my stop, it would be like a completely successful trade, so that was wrong. Also, I have to say it was a very tiny setup, very small scalp, so I was a little bit nervous maybe. And these are not the best setups, so I am going to try to avoid them a little bit. I know it was on a nice spot, but as you can see here. It was also after a structure break to the downside. Here you're losing this, so it was also a short entry. But it was after the long, of course, the short entry, so it was okay, debatable. One thing that's for sure was that I didn't manage it good enough. So let's go on to the next trade. This wasn't filled, but I will explain what I was looking at. Here you see that you're in an uptrend, and after this higher high, you're looking for a higher low. Here you found some nice support on this low, and this was the trigger, this liquidity sweep below the previous lows here on the lower time frame. But I was waiting for a trade that didn't come. Yeah, you can see it right here. I placed it afterwards. Yeah, I think I placed it around here. I didn't play it immediately here because imagine after this liquidity you did this, but you moved back very quickly. I wouldn't really like the trade, but here you made a nice gain. Yeah, it wasn't that bad for me to look for the long here. But there was one possible setup, and it was this one. As you can see, you made an uptrend after this liquidity sweep. This would have been a nice entry with a stop below this low, but also a very tiny scalp, a little bit more advanced, so it wasn't that big of a mistake that I didn't see it in the moment. But afterwards, I think this would have been the nicer trade. Maybe your stop below this one, and then you can target this, but of course you're trading the bigger time frame as well, so you can expect a higher high, maybe even on the bigger time frame. Okay, going further, here you saw, yeah, one trade I missed, sorry, that I really liked but I didn't take because I was too hesitant, was this one. As you can see, you're hitting the high, you're losing the move that that brought you to the high over here. So this was a nice short. Yeah, I should have taken it. What I noticed was, because I didn't trade for 3 months, I had to come back into it a little bit, and I was a little bit more hesitant with taking setups. Although I should know that trading is probability, and it's not okay. It's not wrong if you're wrong. Sometimes it's part of the job. So I should have just taken it because I remember seeing it stop stop above the high, and it would be a nice short, but I didn't. So okay, moving on. Here you saw the uptrend continuing. I was waiting for this one. Obviously I should have taken this one. I remember looking for this one after this flush, so over here I placed it. Here was a small scalp that I tried. As you can see, it was based on the local gain here. Didn't get filled, unfortunately. Looking back on it, this was a must play long, but I didn't, unfortunately. In my opinion, there was a short here, but it was a very tough one. As you can see, you're not losing anything on the 15 minutes, but on the 1 hour you did lose something. So yeah, with full focus you could have played it. Continuing, this one, in my opinion, was a mistake. Here you had like a possible support zone, and of course you had one here. I wanted to wait for the reaction of both of these support zones, but here the reaction, it just wasn't big enough. As you can see, you're not gaining anything here on the 15 minutes, and then okay, yeah, let me check it out on the lower time frame where I took it. I based it again on the 1 minute time frame, similar to the last one that I showed you, also on the 1 minute time frame. I was trying to play the higher low, and I just got stopped out before it moved up, but it wouldn't have reached my target. That's what I mean with the lower time frame trades. This was the 0.6% loss because I took it with 0.5% because of the slippage. Of course, a little bit more was lost, but they are just a little bit too big of a risk. The confirmation just wasn't big enough to take this one, looking back on it. So I would say that this one is not a good trade. Okay, going back here, this one was better, but unfortunately I got a front run. Let me delete this. I was waiting for the reaction. In my opinion, this was the first gain. This was the drop to the low, and here you gained the drop. Some nice. Yes. There was a nice construction before, so it was a nice place to look for a long. Unfortunately, I didn't get filled. So, but it was the setup was okay. So that was not very wrong of me. Maybe I could have managed it a little bit more aggressively, like this. I noticed that often I'm a little bit too defensive with my stop, and that's also the reason that I am too defensive with my entry. So I'm gonna work on that. You will see that mistake a couple more times in this trade diary, journal. Yeah, over here what I have to add is I didn't trade enough. I think this could have been a long, for example. This could have been a long. Maybe here you could have taken a long as well. I didn't like this one that much because you didn't make a higher high over here. So I think I didn't have to take that one. Here, I don't know where the arrow went. So I'm going to put it back. This was just a very bad trade. Let me put it on the 1 hour time frame. As you can see, you made a gain on the 1 hour. You kind of reached your target already. So this was just a shitty short. Here you can see on the 15-minute time frame that made a little bit of sense. It looked like a little bit sweeping, a little bit of a liquidity sweep, and you're losing the move that brought you to the high. The biggest mistake of all with these trades was that I left it open when I was sleeping. Here you can see it was filled at night. Normally I would have easily take 1 TP out and maybe take a smaller loss or even a break-even trade, but now I just lost a full 1%, and that's not very good. Was a lack of patience from my part. As you can see, very long time that I didn't get into a successful trade, so it weighed too much on me, I think. Zooming out again, maybe go to the 1 hour time frame. You will see the next few trades that I took. One trade that I didn't take. Let me go back to the 15 minutes. I'm sorry for switching time frames so much. Was this one. Let me paint the picture for you. As you can see, there was a nice untested area around here. It got filled. This could have maybe also been a direct play, but in my opinion it wasn't very nice with the fee bounce coming back at it so quickly, but the reaction was nice. I was looking at it, but in my opinion the gain wasn't that good. But yeah, if I'm being honest, it was on such a nice place. You swept all this liquidity, and you made a gain immediately after taking the liquidity. So that's like the best confirmation you can have, and then being so strict on that the gain doesn't look very convincing, that's just putting too much rules onto your trades, I think, as the picture was quite clear, and I think I also was a little bit nervous because of the last mistake, and I have to really filter that out of my trading, because I'm trading way too much based on emotions still. Yeah, my defense, I was gone for a couple of months, and I just started trying to trade full time. Of course, I'm not trading full time because I'm not profitable and I'm still working on the weekends. But yeah, I noticed that I make too much emotional mistakes still. So being aware of that is part one of the equation, of course. So happy with that, but not happy with the amount of times I still do it. So this one, easy trade, actually would have been a very big trade if you managed it properly, of course. That's the second part of trading good. Okay, here a little bit more activity from my part. As you can see, we hit the top of the range, and I was looking for a short after the reaction. Here I tried one after breaking this structure. I think this was a nice try, but it got front run. I think it's a very similar trade to the one I showed you here, but then to the downside instead of to the upside. But yeah, same mistake maybe, to defensively managed or tried to take a too defensive entry. Then the short from higher. This one, this was one of the break-even trades actually. As you can see, the reaction came from the level. I took one TP and then I got stopped out here and not here, so it was kind of break-even. But yeah, it was not the best trade. As you can see over here, the loss is not that big. I remember on the 1 hour, yeah, you had a loss on the 1 hour, so it was okay. I think like a B setup, not an A plus setup, but it's okay to take these. Imagine my order diary would look different with more good trades, then this one wouldn't really bother me actually, so I think this one wasn't that bad. The next trade I remember was a bad trade looking back on it. The idea was kind of the same, that you're making a loss, as these two trades I mean, and after the loss you're shorting or trying to short. But what I was missing here was the higher time frame picture. I remember, look here, you can see that you're just gaining above this range, and then you're testing this, you're testing back the range, and after that it's not very smart to short, of course. It's just a confirmation to long actually. So this was a very bad short in my opinion. Okay, going further, here I had a small front run again, a lot of front runs actually this month. Here you made this very sharp move to the downside. You took the liquidity all the way here from the start of this impulse, and you didn't even lose this, so in my opinion that indicated strength. Here very similar setup again to the one I showed you before, but now in a smaller time frame. As you can see, front run. Let me show it to you on the smaller time frame. I cannot even blame myself for this one. In my opinion, I was almost as aggressive as I could have been. Maybe I could have put it on the wick, but yeah, sometimes you're just unlucky, and I think this is one of those times that I have been unlucky. So good idea, good execution I think with this example, but just a little bit unlucky. Okay. Yeah, sorry guys if it's taking a little bit long, but yeah, this is my first monthly recap, so I will see how long it will end up being. Almost finished, so okay, afterwards, let me check. I think I lost a little bit of activity here. I don't know why oh, it's black, that's the reason. Yeah, I took this setup. In my opinion, there were some trades, but good to know is that I'm working on a Saturday for the whole day, and on a Sunday I often do things with my family, so I'm not really trading on the weekend. This was a nice setup in my opinion on Saturday. Yeah, maybe this one was also nice. Let me check it on a Sunday. Yeah, that's if you're trading on a Sunday. Look here, you are gaining this after the momentum dying down, and also you're coming from support, so that's good to know. You can put your stop right here, and you can maybe target this or this, and then it's already a very good trade. But I didn't take it as it was on the weekend. One thing that I can blame myself on is not taking this trade. As you can see here, you had this range and you made a gain of the range and especially of the last swing to the low over here, and I tried to long it here. Here again, as I just said, I think my stop is just way too defensive. Imagine I managed it more aggressive, then I would have been able to take a little bit more profit out of this. This was also a break-even trade that got stopped out yeah, around here, probably below the low, but of course I should have taken this trade as well, like this, because you can see that that you're gaining this. It's quite a good gain, but not that strong. Of course you can try this one, but the more defensive play would have been better. Let me check how it looks on the higher time frame. Yeah, as you can see on the higher time frame, this one was already tested a little bit, and here this was just wide open, so this would have been the better trade. Let me check. I see that I got a front run here again. Yeah, I remember this one, a very small trade, also very similar to the setups that I already showed you. Making a big violent move down, taking a lot of liquidity, and then very quickly you're gaining it back. Here on the 1 minute confirmation I tried to take it, but again just a little bit unlucky, or maybe this is a very hard setup. I'm trying to get used to the setup, but yeah, I just keep getting the front run, so I'm gonna really track the performance of the setup and try to take it better or in a different way. Okay, going back to the bigger picture again, and I think that was my last trade. Yeah, that was my last trade of May. May ended around here. In my opinion, you had in this range you had one very nice play that was this long. Why was it a nice play? As you can see, you're holding the low, gaining this move to this low, so it's a very nice confirmation to play the higher low. And yeah, further, yeah, I think that was the nicest trade, but as you can see, it happened at night. The gain happened at night, so cannot blame myself on that one. And here I have to be honest, I wasn't very active. I didn't take any trades. I went away for a couple of days with the family of my girlfriend, and now I'm back in full focus, so that's why you're seeing this video today. Last weekend I uploaded a more mindset video that was while I was away for the weekend, and from now on, yeah, you can expect the weekly reviews again. So looking back on this month, was it the best month? No, it wasn't. I did have a lot of front runs, so would only 1 or 2 of them have been filled, the picture would have been way different already. So it wasn't that bad. In my opinion, this one, it was the 1 minute scalp that I showed you, that got stopped out, that I already took with 0.5% because I knew it was risky. That was a mistake. And then the first short, let me check. No, not the first short, that was okay. The second short was a mistake. So this one was a mistake, this one was a mistake. Oh, and this one was also a mistake. So 3 mistakes, and those were the 3 losing trades, a couple of front runs, a couple of break-even trades. So focus for the next month will be filtering out the mistakes, and trying to stay in focus, stay in the flow. I'm just focusing on getting better and better and better, and we will see what the next month will bring. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you are interested in following the journey, and if you want more frequent updates, you can follow me on X. It will be in the link in the description.